Everyone, welcome to the initial episode of Filming Season Mini Pods with Trevor and Levi and our first guest, Matt Stice. Golden Dewey winning.
That's right.
So the mini pods, I'm just going to give you a quick summary, just supposed to get everybody excited, just to continue to give you a little bit of content during filming season. And we're going to go through each of the directors and just kind of see where they're at with their filming process. So Matt is team captain for Red, which is the best team, obviously. Trevor, you're not Red team. Anyway, so we're going to start with him. Also, thank you for being here.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Glad to have you. Okay. Question number one, who do you think is going to win the Golden Dewey this year?
I think it's going to be either Andrew or Paul.
Okay.
If I have to pick one of them,
You do. You have to pick one.
then I would probably say Paul, mainly just because I was talking about this with Zach and some others, is that I think part of the burden of Andrew being kind of the overlord of the festival is that people almost just kind of assume that he's going to be like the dominant, like he's going to get all the votes or that he's going to win, or like that he's already won. So I don't know that that necessarily takes votes away from him, but I almost kind of feel like it kind of reminds me of On Nerd. People would rarely ever nominate Andrew to be like the grill queen, mainly because they just kind of assume that since he's the RA, he would have already been that.
Fair enough.
So
interesting.
I think Paul is one of the better filmmakers in Party Room Film Festival that hasn't won it. Like, would you say he's due for a Golden Dewey?
I would. He was, like he was tied, and then it went into overtime last year.
That's right.
So it was one vote swing. If one vote had gone the other way, it would have been tied again. So he was very close. If I were going to pick one person, I would pick Paul.
Now, if you were to pick whose film do you think will be better between mine and Levi's, who would you say?
And better is a very interesting term. It is very difficult to quantify what exactly constitutes
however
better.
You'd like to interpret better.
However I like to interpret it. All right.
Yeah.
I will interpret it in terms of which film am I more likely to watch over and over again.
Okay.
And if that is the case, I will have to be 100% honest. Levi, I love your films, but I watch Trevor's films more often than I watch your
dog.
films. So
here's the thing. I think we have a perfect matchup this year for Trevor and with Trevor and Jacob. It's just like it's one for the ages. So
it is. And we can get when we get to Jacob, but I do have some thoughts on my matchup with Jacob.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it should be
I respect it. Anyone going up against Trevor is in for the ride of their life. How many shoot days do you think you have for your movie this year?
So I've done one so far, and that went really well. It was yesterday. So I would say a minimum of 3, probably 2 days where the bulk of it gets done, and then maybe like a third or fourth day just to fill in the gaps. So far, so good. I've gotten everything done that I wanted to get done yesterday, and we actually got done an hour early. Although I feel like part of that is because I hired Heather to be my assistant director, and she kept everybody not only on time, but ahead of schedule. So
nice.
Do you already own a snow globe?
I have not purchased one. I will say that it is possible that a crew member may have brought some to the set, and it is possible that I have it very prominently featured in the script. It's also possible that it's just a throwaway on my end. So that's something that I will not be revealing a lot of detail on, but
all right.
But rest assured the snow globe is involved.
Well, I can't wait for the snow globe reveal, the great snow globe reveal of 2020.
Yes, indeed.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be used as a projectile in your film.
That seems to hold some water in Matt Stice films.
It does, based on my history.
Yeah.
But, it's a new year, so who knows what's going to happen.
Fair enough. Does your movie take any inspiration from any of the PRFF movies?
Absolutely, 100%. Certain things that have transpired and like certain places or people or events that have been shown in Party Room. But the plot was kind of a mishmash of like different movies that I enjoy. And then I just kind of took like some elements from them and kind of put them together into what I think, in my opinion, will be a fun little flick, a fun little action thriller type movie.
Okay, cool.
We're here for it. Now, as a previous Golden Dewey winning filmmaker, Do you have any tips that you think are lock-ins for helping others who maybe have not won a Golden Dewey to make their films be Golden Dewey winning films?
Well, the first thing I would recommend is getting it done on time. I know that can be a challenge for some, myself included. The second thing I would recommend is make the stakes high. I mean, they don't have to be like crazy end of the world, we got to save America type high, but like you want to have the audience become invested in your story. There has to be like some sort of like connection to what's going on, like they have to care. Or you have to have like one really just funny, just good joke that you can just pull off real fast, like End of the Bloodline, for example. He took his joke and he ran with it. You could see it coming, but it was still hilarious. So I'd say you could go one of those two routes.
Fair enough. I think
Nice.
that's real advice.
How much money have you sunk into this film so far?
So far, well, so I bought pizza for the crew yesterday. I bought a fake, well, I bought some stuff.
Whatever it is fake. We know that.
Got him. Got him.
You almost had me.
Do you think you'll actually be in on time?
Good question.
So far, yes. Ask me again in a month. We'll see. It really depends on
asking realistic, Matt. Not the like
realistic.
Realistic, Matt. You're looking at what you've got. You know.
Yes, I will be. I think I'm pretty confident I'll be done in time this year.
You heard it here, ladies
Nice.
and gentlemen. Matt Stice's film will be in on time.
No question
And
about
finished
it.
and completed. Not just on time, but actually completed too.
That's a
That's
big.
not a guarantee.
Who do you think the mystery judge is going to be?
I think there's 2 or 3 people that I think it could be. I feel like the chances of it being a former student are high. I think Quentin Carter could be a potential one. I think Harry Fogel is a possibility. It also might just be someone completely, I just have no idea. So we'll see who happens.
Good guesses.
Certainly.
Any activities that you hope for, like either this year's weekend celebration or in the future?
I want us to make sure we do the trading card stuff. We got to bust the trading cards out and go crazy with it.
I agree. I am 100% on board.
Could you tell us how many nerds will be in your film this year?
There are a minimum of 3 nerds will be involved in some way, shape, or form in terms of like the story. I mean, there are more of them involved in like the crew and stuff, but I'm assuming you mean specifically like in the film.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, there will be at least 3 involved.
This is kind of weird that I'm asking it, but I'm just going to help Trevor out. Would you vote yes for Trevor for council?
Oh, yeah, of course I would.
All right.
There we go.
Absolutely.
And I was just waiting to make sure Levi said it because I wanted my campaign man.
I would never campaign manage for a blue teamer.
Oh, okay. Would you say that you got everyone that you wanted for your team? You hand selected your team. You know, is there anyone that slipped through the cracks that you didn't get?
There are a couple people that like, it's one of those things where like I had my kind of strategy going into it, but we did like a snake draft. I think Sam had the first pick and then I had the next 2, then he had the next 2 and so on and so forth. Depending on who he was going to take, I knew who I was going to take. It didn't go exactly the way I thought because 1 or 2 of the picks he made, there was a couple guys that I would have, if they were there, I would have snagged them. I mean, but you know how it goes with drafting. I mean, it's you're never going to get every single person, but I'll say that I'm very happy with my team. I think it's a really solid squad.
That's right. Go red team.
Go blue. Go blue. Go blue team. Go blue.
I'll root for blue if it's Michigan or Kentucky, but
okay. I'm very curious as the team captain. How much do you just hate blue team? The team captain for red, that is.
I think blue team is just so insignificant that I just don't really hate them. I just kind of feel sorry for them that they're stuck in their pitiful little spot. But
that's good.
You know.
Is this affecting your relationship with blue team captain Sam Maddox?
Well, you know, there's some back and forth. There's some puns and some trolling to be had for sure. But I think he's actually going to be on my film set for at least one of the days. So I don't know that I would say it affects my relationship in terms of like professional, you know, filming, you know, on set etiquette. But in terms of like the rivalry, you know, it's sometimes friends turn against each other, you know.
Gotcha. So this isn't like a keep your friends close but your enemies closer kind of thing. It's like strictly professional.
Well, we try to be as professional as we can in this industry, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's like you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back.
Okay.
But then in other cases, it's like, well, but you're trying to take my votes away. You're trying to take my prize that I'm going for. I don't want to stand for that, so I got to come at you.
That makes
Like
sense. That makes sense.
scratch my back and I'll wax yours kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. It's very circumstantial, but sometimes you gotta be the guy who's willing to take the initiative to do what it takes to win.
That's good, Matt.
Certainly.
I'm glad to hear that.
Now, what do you think your matchups? You don't have to say who's going to win, but if you were to guess, red versus blue, it's a 7-on-7, right?
Yeah.
So, how do you think it's going to wind up in the end? Like, are you, do you think blue team's going to win 7-0, or do you think blue team's going to win like 6-1? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I could see blue getting a point or two. I could see that. I think it's possible that we might not sweep 7-0, but ultimately that'll be in the hands of the judge. So he might get a little distracted or something, or maybe he just won't pay as much attention as he should. And he might accidentally vote for blue, but see what happens.
Do you feel like you guys are at a disadvantage for colorblind folks? Because everyone can, well, almost everyone can see blue. There's a lot more people that can see blue than can see red well. So
that is a valid question. My dad is somewhat colorblind. He has trouble with like red and purple a little bit. So yes, that is a valid question. And to answer that question, my answer is no. I'm not worried about colorblind people.
Okay, fair enough.
Because fortunately, on the form, it will be very distinct as to which film is which. So as long as the judge can read, I think that they'll be all right.
What if they just have color blocks though that they have to vote for, like red or blue?
In that case, then I have a bone to pick with the council.
I'm right there
I
with
will
you.
be taking that up with them.
But if you think about it, I don't know if you guys have realized this, that 3 out of 3 council members are on blue team.
I did realize that.
I'm not really sure how that happened.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. We outnumber. The red team has 3 Golden Dewey winners out of 4. The most recent 3 Golden Dewey winners.
That's true. Yeah, you guys have one old geezer Dewey winner.
Hear me out though. How many Golden Dewey winners have repeat?
So far, none. But how many council members have a Golden Dewey winner at all?
Hypothetically speaking, you've got 3 people on your team that they've already used their go. They're done. They're all washed up.
Well, there's not a very
I'm not
large
sure that's how that works.
Size. So I mean, if Levi has only been in the festival for a couple of seasons, so
yeah,
I think that if anybody has a good chance to repeat, I feel really confident about the 3 guys on our team that have won one. But then even then, there's other people who might be due. Who knows? Jacob might come out with the craziest film of all time. Don't forget about the other people. You got like Cody. Come on now.
This is good.
He's not.
This is really good. Okay, as team captain, do you have a message to the red team?
A motivating message, I would say, make the film that you want to make to the best of your ability. If the critic decides to vote against you, then it's okay. Not everybody is always correct all the time. Sometimes people just make poor decisions. It happens.
That's a good perspective. I like that.
Yeah, some people got picked for the red team, they didn't have any say in it,
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you have a message for your opponent who just happens to be Andrew King on the blue team?
Andrew, you went try hard last year. You went all in. You went full power. And I don't know. I think this year you're going to have to find an extra gear. You have to dig down even deeper and transcend what you believe to be your limit. Otherwise, you will get squashed like a bug.
Wow, bold words coming from someone
like a bug. Just in case you guys didn't hear that. Anything you want to tease about your film?
It is potentially, there's a very high chance that it's going to be my most out there, ridiculous, crazy film yet.
Those are bold words coming from you.
I think this is just my opinion based on how I feel about it. I think it's going to have the highest rewatch value of any film I've made so far.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, I'm here for it. I'd like to watch it once first, but I'm ready for the rewatch.
Oh, and also shout out Melissa and Josiah are back there playing pickleball.
Hey.
Hi, Josiah. Hi, Melissa.
I was going to say something trashy about Josiah, but I realized he's also on our team.
Yeah, he's neutral.
Josiah is Sweden, I suppose.
All right, Matt, thank you so much for being on the PPRFFMP, the Pre-Party Room Film Festival mini pod. That's Pre-Party Room Film Festival mini pod. And in typical podcast fashion, I'm just hanging out.
Hanging out with my family.
I don't know if we got that, but it was perfect.
That was great.
Okay.
Hi, Callie.
Hi.
Callie, you're making it into the episode.
Perfect.
See you next time.